Have you ever wondered what it sounds like when a superpower runs out of its most strategically important metal reserves? It is not an explosion. It is not a roar. It is the sound of a phone dialing. It is the sound of a website refreshing in the middle of the night with the message, "Indefinite delay." This morning, the illusion of abundance officially collapsed. For 5 years, we have been living on borrowed time. For 5 years, the world has consumed more silver than it has mined. We have been told the deficit is manageable. We have been told markets are efficient. But the math does not lie. A cumulative deficit of over 120 million ounces in 2025 alone does not care about efficient markets. It cares only about physical reality. And the reality is that the U.S. Strategic Reserve is a phantom. Think back to the mid-20th century. The United States held billions of ounces of silver in the National Defense Stockpile. It was the bedrock of the currency, the pride of the Treasury. But through decades of strategic sell-offs intended to suppress the price and the systematic demonetization of the metal, that mountain has been ground down to a molehill. By the early 2000s, the stockpile was effectively zero. Today, the U.S. Mint is forced to buy silver on the open market like any other retail customer, and they are losing the fight. The U.S. Mint has just done the unthinkable. They have postponed the 2026 Silver Eagle program. Why? They are not telling you the truth about technical glitches. They postponed it because the authorized purchasers, the massive banks that act as middlemen, cannot find the physical blanks. The world's largest mint is effectively standing in line at a soup kitchen, and the pot is empty. When the sovereign issuer of a currency can no longer source the metal to strike its own coins, the fiat mask has not just slipped, it has been torn off. For the last half-decade, the structural deficit has hovered between 118 and 200 million ounces annually. In 2024, the Silver Institute warned that the gap was widening. But the paper price on the exchange kept the lid on the pressure cooker. They used paper contracts to pretend that supply existed. They traded silver that has not been mined yet to satisfy people who wanted silver today. But you cannot build a solar panel out of a digital file. You cannot power an electric vehicle with a futures contract. We are entering the inventory destruction phase. This is not a temporary shortage. This is the moment where the global stockpile, the above-ground silver that has been accumulated for 5,000 years, is being sucked into the industrial vacuum. We have reached the point where the U.S. government is now competing with tech giants and the Department of Defense for the same ounce of metal. And guess who has the deeper pockets? It is not the mint. It is the companies that need silver to avoid a total factory shutdown. At $80 an ounce, the physical market has officially decoupled from the screen. The premiums are no longer a fee, they are the actual price. If you think the high price of $80 is going to bring more silver to the market, you are still thinking in the old paradigm. You are trapped in Economics 101. In the old world, high prices encourage recycling. You think people will dig out their grandmother's silverware or melt down their old jewelry? Here is the little-known fact they hide from you. Decorative silver is a drop in the ocean. The real silver, the silver that runs our civilization, is being consumed in real time. This is the consumptive destruction phase. When silver goes into advanced defense systems, it is destroyed. When silver is baked into the conductive paste of a high-efficiency solar cell, it is integrated at a molecular level. When it is layered into the microscopic traces of an AI chip, the cost of recovering that fraction of a gram is 10 times the value of the metal itself. We are burning our silver reserves to power the digital age. In 2025, the technology boom has not just increased silver demand, it has weaponized it. Every top-tier processor, every satellite in the modern constellations, every high-voltage connection in an EV requires silver. And unlike a silver bar in a vault, this silver is never coming back. To make matters worse, mining production is stagnant. Why? Here is another fact. over 70% of silver is mined as a byproduct of lead, zinc, and copper mining. You cannot simply turn up silver production. If you want more silver, you have to build a massive new copper mine, which takes 10 to 15 years. The supply is inelastic. The harder the world tries to go green, the faster we destroy the only metal that makes green possible. The green revolution is a silver-eating machine. To meet the 2025 solar installation targets, the industry needed roughly 140 million ounces just for photovoltaic cells. But as the efficiency of solar panels increases, they are not using less silver. They are using more to ensure the conductivity of high-efficiency cells. We are in a technical trap. And here is the fact the central banks do not want you to know. There is no central bank silver left. They lease gold. They hold gold. But silver was sold off decades ago. There are no secret hoards left to save the market. When the industrial giants realize that the U.S. Mint is failing to source metal, they do not wait for the exchange price to move. They bypass the exchanges entirely. They are going directly to the mines in Mexico and Peru, offering off-take agreements. They are paying for the silver before it is even out of the ground. This is why the supply chain has snapped. The industrial users are hoarding at the source. They are terrified of a factory shutdown. A $100,000 electric vehicle cannot be delivered if it is missing $80 worth of silver components. To the manufacturer, the price of silver is irrelevant. They will pay $100, $200, even $500 an ounce because the alternative is a multi-billion-dollar production halt. You are no longer competing with other investors. You are competing with the survival of global technology. Let us talk about the biggest lie in the history of finance: the spot price. For decades, the price of silver has been determined by paper ounces. On a typical trading day, the volume of silver traded on paper exceeds the entire annual global mining production. For every 1 physical ounce of silver sitting in a registered vault, there are between 100 and 300 paper ounces being traded as claims. It is a game of musical chairs played with 300 people and only one chair. But as of December 2025, the music has stopped. The paper-to-physical ratio is the most dangerous metric in the world right now. When the U.S. Mint postponed the Eagle program, it sent a silent alarm to every major bank and hedge fund in the world. They all realized at the same time, the chair is gone. This has triggered a massive scramble for the physical vaults in London and New York. The entities that held paper silver as a placeholder are now demanding delivery, and the vaults are beginning to fail. We are seeing the early signs of force majeure. Exchanges are starting to offer cash settlements instead of metal. This is the ultimate betrayal. If you bought silver at $30 on paper and the price is now $80, but the exchange says they cannot give you the metal and will instead give you a check for $35, you did not win. The value was taken. You lost the metal, and you were handed a currency that is devaluing by the hour. This inventory destruction is driving silver back to its historical role as money. For 5,000 years, silver was the primary currency of the human race. The last 50 years of fiat silver were the anomaly. We are returning to the historical mean. As the dollar's purchasing power evaporates, the world is looking for an escape hatch, and that hatch is silver. By February, the $80 level will likely be a distant memory in the rearview mirror. The destination is $100 and beyond, not because of greed, but because of a mathematical reset. We are seeing unusual movements in the East that the Western media refuses to cover. The Shanghai Gold Exchange has been drained of physical silver at a record pace. For the last 12 months, the price in Shanghai has been consistently $5 to $12 higher than the price in New York. This is a massive drain. The silver is flowing from west to east. The vaults in London are being emptied to satisfy the demand in China and India. This is a global wealth transfer. The silver is moving from the hands of paper traders to the hands of those who understand that in a world of infinite digital printing, the only thing that matters is what you can hold in your hand. The era of $20 silver, $30 silver, even $50 silver is over. It was a product of a manipulated system that relied on the belief that there would always be enough to go around. But the reality is this: the Silver Eagle postponement is the smoking gun. It is the admission of the government that the game is over. There is not enough metal for the mint, there is not enough for the military, and there certainly is not enough for the public. You are witnessing the monetization of a strategic necessity. This is not a squeeze that will end in a week. This is a structural re-rating of the very foundation of our economy. If you are waiting for a dip to buy, you are waiting for a ship that has already hit the iceberg. The water is rising. The lifeboats are limited. And for the first time in history, the lifeboats are made of physical 999 fine silver. Hold your position. Watch the vaults. The divorce between paper and physical is the final stage of the collapse of the dollar-dominated world. We are at the end of the line. If you found this analysis helpful, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below. What are you seeing at your local coin shops? Are the premiums at $80 still rising in your area? Is your dealer even picking up the phone? Let us get the conversation started. Stay vigilant. Stay physical.